Well, welcome to Ask a Responsive Fundraiser, where we take your questions to a fundraising expert so that ultimately you can grow generosity. Today, we're taking your questions to George Weiner. George is the founder of Whole Whale, a digital agency helping over 100 nonprofits use data and AI, including CauseWriter.ai, to grow their impact. He's also a podcast host, educator, and tech for good leader. George, thanks for taking some time to answer some questions today.
Thanks, though. I'm terrified of experts. I consider myself a student.
Hey, perfect. Well, we all are today, and we have some questions, hopefully, that we'll learn together from. And I'm going to jump into the first one. It's this. We're collecting a lot of donor data across campaigns and channels, but we struggle to turn that data into things we can take action on. So how can we better use things like web analytics to shape donor journeys?
Yeah, it's the old Gene Wilder, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. But
Yeah.
the piece that I want to take away here is one, first, you have to understand that more is different, more is not better. So as we want to
Mhm.
measure more things and add more things to that sort of report, like every single interface that you run into is just like, hey, here are the numbers. And you know why they're doing that? So that you spend more time on that platform. Um,
Yeah.
by the way, Virtuous, great set of dashboards. What I'd say is to pull back and say, where's our North Star? What are the key performing indicators? And then we've got a free Looker template that will let you customize a dashboard that pulls in the pieces that matter. Put it another way. Uh, you're driving down the road and you want to know how fast you are going. You don't need to know how many impressions your last X post got or how many impressions that this random post over on Instagram got. You need to know how fast you're going and how much gas you have. You're building yourself a car dashboard of what is important. The other thing that I'd encourage you to do is, in terms of things I see people missing in web analytics right now, is using attribution modeling and not falling
Mm.
for that last click fallacy. Just because I clicked donate on my virtuous donate button doesn't mean that's the first time I met you.
Right.
There's a lot of insight to be found in the attribution modeling. I mean, like how many steps and what were the steps that took me to the get.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's such a process, right? It's not a linear path that everybody goes on the same steps. It can look different for everyone. So understanding that, although a challenge is so important. All right, question number 2. Our donation page gets plenty of traffic, but conversion rates are flat. So, what should we test or look to change to create a more compelling giving experience that actually moves donors to act?
This is an age-old question, but the right question. To that, I give you a Leonardo da Vinci quote, which is, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication.
Mm,
Do less, please. Take away nothing else. Do less, please. Another thing to look at that you might be missing that is below the surface is actually uh, basically compile comes before compel. So what does that
okay.
mean? That means speed is compelling. If people can't read your thing in time, we have a short attention span. Look up how your load time is on mobile specifically. And I don't care how eloquent you are writing. I don't care how beautiful that picture is. If it
Yeah.
doesn't compile, it doesn't compel.
Yeah. That's super helpful. They never get there because it didn't load fast enough. They're never
It's
going to
it's
read the
so sad
copy.
because you are inside your organization. You love what you do. You can't imagine anyone not caring as much as you do. But I gotta wait 2.5 seconds for this thing. Man, I got
Yeah.
I got a cold pizza to eat over here. So another tool on the design side, you're like, what can I design? Like I get it less. We actually have an AI page donation page auditor. So you put in your page and it will go through the classic 10 tips of whatever the last person you listened to giving you, like, do it this way. It'll go through all of the minutia. And actually, we give a shout out to Virtuous on that. I think we're going to be doing more around that free tool, free like rainbows.
Yeah. No, that's great. We'll make sure to link to that as well because that's such a helpful tool to get an idea of where are we at and what do we need to change. All right. Question number 3. We're using automation tools in our CRM, but the content that comes out still feels templated. So how can AI tools help us keep messaging both efficient, but also genuinely donor centered?
This question makes me smile. because it is such a reminder that average is the enemy.
Yeah.
All of these LLM tools are essentially a boiled soup of every bit of text from the internet, from books, and everything it could scrape, mooshed together, and it produces a probabilistic output that is the average of everything you have ever seen and will never be able to read. Pause for a minute and then ask yourself, would you want that like average Andy writing your compelling email appeal, website copy, donation page call to action? No. So what's the answer? You need to be looking into how you give context, how you prompt these AIs. There's a lot of tools. We spend a lot of time actually at CauseWriter building what are called RAGs, retrieval augmented generation databases, full of your voice, your tone, your history, your facts. And then that is added along the way, as well as creating very focused prompts. We have also free tools, free like rainbows, at causewriter.ai/resources, where you can actually create what we call a sandwich prompt. So you say like, I need something that does donor appeals for summer fundraising campaign season, more words, words, words. It'll synthesize all that and give you a clean prompt that you can then use. Another quick
Okay.
hack is actually you can, for any AI you're working with, actually have it rewrite or audit what you have written based on a donor persona. So
Mm.
grab that stale old document sitting in your Google Drive right now that are donor personas and be like, I want you to play the role of Alice, who is a donor from Michigan. Go. And you will end
Yeah.
up with something worlds better than average Andy.
Yeah. Especially being able then to understand who those people are, to segment, to communicate directly to them. It goes back to even speaking about attribution, understanding where they came from, how they came to know you, connected with you. It just gives a whole picture, and then combining those tools can be so powerful.
Yeah, but it can be overwhelming. And the other sort of canary in the coal mine right now is to remember that the human brain is amazing at
Mm.
pattern recognition. And you know what? We're all getting trained on how to spot AI slop.
Yeah.
It's incredible. If I were to give you like an image, a stock image of like person at computer, business handshake meeting, I just put in your mind that generic, like overly cropped hand to hand shaking with like a, Gaussian, like a little Gaussian blur in the background. No offense, you have a
Yeah.
delightful blur in the background. I love the guitar, but you could spot it
Right.
instantly. And we can do that with text. And I'll pause for a second. Anytime you see the words in today's business environment,
Sure.
someone just tuned out. In today's overwhelming world, like stop it. We know it's
Yeah.
AI generated, and we have stopped listening after this sentence.
Yeah. No, I think that's helpful. I think it gives some people some really practical things too as they continue to explore these tools and figure out how do I use these in a way that makes sense and is still true to my context and the people we're communicating with. I would love if you could just let people know how they can connect with you and learn more about Whole Whale and maybe connect with the team.
Absolutely. Well, you can find us at wholewhale.com and also causewriter.ai. We have so many free resources there that we put out there so that we can get more words for good in the world. We're actually producing about our helping process over 500,000 words a day right now. So
It's
we
awesome.
are excited to see that grow.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, again, we'll link to that for people, but thank you so much for taking the time to answer some questions and to help folks today. We really appreciate it.
Brilliant. Thanks.